Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully everyone can hear me just fine. Let's see. Short on RT, right? What's up, team? With Team GX Trades. Hey, how are you? Slim Trady, yo. Hello, hello. How we doing? QWERTY, how you doing? How you doing? How's everyone doing today? Quiet PM session. I feel like we've been having these quiet PM sessions because these morning AM sessions have been such a crazy move. What's even crazier um, is the fact that we're actually just gunning for these highs with absolutely no remorse towards anything at all. R2I equal lows today. Good AM session win today. Hell yeah. How did everyone else do? But yeah, so I'm taking a look here at the NQ daily chart. We are just absolutely gunning for these highs. It is almost shocking how, well, not entirely shocking. We've seen it happen before. Um, we've seen it happen before where if you take a look, sell side takes quite a bit of time, and this is from like 2023, and I remember really vividly this price action. But if you were to compare, like, just take a look at this real quick. Take a look at this date range. So from this high to this low, it took approximately 99 days from the delivery of the high to the low. And from that same low to that same high, in just about half of the time, we just gunned for those highs and absolutely just demolished it. It's on a mission. Let me see what you're looking at RTY since you're mentioning it. I might as well just short on RTY. Okay. Swing relative equal lows. What time frame are you looking at? The 1 minute? What are you looking at? Scalp short? Oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, this is just similar scenario here as well. If I go back to this chart, it took us from this low or from this high to this low 152 days. And now we've covered pretty much a good portion of it in just about 14 days, in just about 14 trading days, which is absolutely insane to even see. Um, so obviously, you know, I don't want to again marry a insane bias here, but I do think we'll just end up at these highs. ES is going for the all-time highs. Yes, it is. It is, it is, it is. And we're almost at that yearly opening, which I think, let me plot. So this is the daily chart. Let me plot the yearly opening price. Yearly opening right here. So we're actually now just officially above the yearly opening price. Um, yeah, we are 0.7%. So ES and NQ, I think. Let me check the yearly opening price on NQ. December, January 1st or January 2nd. Yeah, NQ and ES are now officially above their yearly opening price. So, funny enough, as significant as this dip was from the high, which was approximately, yeah, 14.5%, we we've now completely recovered this and now are above the yearly opening price. I'm curious to see the fear and greed index actually. Okay. So fear and greed index is actually pretty neutral, sitting at 47. I wonder what the historical would have been. This was updated a couple of minutes ago. Let me see if I can pop this open right about here. Yeah. So this is the fear and greed index today. Um, a month ago, actually, a month ago today, which would have been the 13th of March, just about, we were actually at extreme fear, funny enough, at 21. Yeah, we were actually at extreme fear. And as it was making the lows 1 week ago, fear, yesterday, fear. So yeah, we've just now actually hit the neutral. So I don't know if that says much to you guys, but yeah. Fear and greed index is now at 47 neutral. About a month ago, it was at complete fear. So pretty interesting. It makes sense. I feel like, I don't know if you guys remember, at least, everybody was just in such a like a doomsday uh kind of tone. Anyways, how are you guys doing today? I know Team GX Trades is in a scalp short. Excuse me. I know Team GX Trades is in a scalp short. FA took a GC long this morning only to get stopped out before running. Uh uh-oh. What's gold at? So um gold. 4,200 and 4,626. Yes, about to close this short for a 2R win. Congratulations, Mr. Team GX Trades. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm not particularly looking for anything today, which is why exactly the title suggests that we will be backtesting in a little bit. Because fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, for those of you that, you know, want to trade this price action, I just don't actually believe that there's anything here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my time and we'll do like a really, really fun backtest session just to, would longs be valid off of the 15-minute gap? I don't know which one you're referring to. I'm assuming you're talking about the 25,911, and then there's also the 25,871. We have two gaps. Um, in this particular scenario, I wouldn't look to long this here just because the fact that it would be in a premium. If you wanted to be, a little bit more, here we go. You grab this low from 1105 and plot it at this high and 25,866. So if you get a swing formation just below here at a discounted price point, I think there's definitely something to be said. Um, but for the most part, I don't really see myself looking for longs at 910s or even 872s. I need to see at least at least a retrace back into a discounted price point. Anyways, I wanted to kind of do something a little bit more interactive. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, we'll watch this chart for a couple of minutes and then I'll switch over to a back test. And what we'll do is that we'll trade kind of together and then we'll review the trades together. That way we actually do something that's conducive to our skill set as opposed to just watching this here. Pick a yeah. So what I'll do is I'll start a poll when I open up my backtesting software. I'll be backtesting on TradeZilla. I will start a poll in chat. I'll let, 30 seconds to a minute pass. Based on the poll, we'll take, I'll ask you guys long or short on the trade that we're seeing on the backtesting software, and then we'll take it together, and then we'll pretty much just chat from there. I think that'll be the most productive thing we can actually do right now. So currently seeing a nice little decline or retrace here. 931. Sorry, excuse me if you guys can hear kind of like my sniffling. My allergies are acting up a bit. Not gonna lie to you. Anyways, yeah, talk to me, guys. How did everyone? I actually cut some longs this morning. Again, I feel like I thrive off of this environment. The environment to the upside. This environment. I mean, just longing 9:30. No, I'm just kidding. The master of the long. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I definitely thrive off of upside markets for sure. What longs did you catch? I'd have to check the time. I don't really remember. Oh, what am I saying? I'm lying. What's up, Sports Connect? Um, how have you been? I've been really good, brother. How have you? How have you been? I'm just gonna review this trade really quickly and then I'll show you guys. So, this was a long. Can you go over your model, please? Absolutely. Absolutely, I can go over my model. This morning was actually a 15-second long off of my model. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but what's up, Slayer? Great. Yeah, so this morning was a 15-second long because of multiple things. So I had come into the morning with the idea that we were going to, well, at this point in time, let me see, 775s. Yeah, I had come into the morning with the idea that we were going to target the 867s, because we were already above this high. 4 hour was just looking for an impulse higher. So my next obvious draw was going to be this super large imbalance, 4 hour imbalance at around 864. So I was looking just for a continuation on longs. Now, a couple of things here. A couple of things to note. And this is probably one of my favorite things is, well, actually, not one of my favorite things, but you get the idea. So for my model, this is pretty much how it works step by step, and these are my time frame alignments, just so you guys have an idea. So first one is obviously 4 hour and 15 minute. Second one is 1 hour and 5 minute. Third one is 15 minute and 1 minute, and then the fourth one is 5 minute and 15 second. Sometimes this can vary. I can use the 30 second as well, but these are typically like what my time frame alignments look like. Um, and what I mean by time frame alignments is that uh, I'm looking for example, if I'm using number two, my 1 hour is going to be my internal to external, and then my 5 minute is just going to be my OB plus my swing and my 5 minute. So just to give an example, right? So in this particular case, we had a 15-minute internal, which means I was looking for a 15, or which means that I was looking for whoops, let me rewrite this. So example. So if I have an hourly, sorry, if I have an hourly internal, then that means I'm looking for a 5-minute external. And yeah. So in this particular case, I had a 15-minute internal and a 5-minute internal. Therefore, I'm going to look for a 30-second or a 15-second external, which is pretty straightforward. So we had a 15-minute internal, which means that from a 1-minute perspective, my first external is going to be this high, right? At 763. We tapped into that. On the 5-minute, we had also formed a swing. So 10 o'clock swept the 9:55 low. And that means that for the next 5 minutes, for the next 15 minutes, I'm looking for a distribution higher. So I hopped over to the handy dandy 15-second chart, and I asked myself the question that I always ask myself, and it's, what particular set of candles or candle swept out the previous 5-minute low? And as you can see, both of these had an interaction with that low, which means that I need to see a closure above that 723.25 level, which we did get. So as soon as we got a closure above that high, that becomes my order block. And then I pretty much just market entered off the OB with my stop at the low, and I targeted the highs. Pretty straightforward. I think that this is something that is really just simple. It's really just what I trade. I pretty much only look for a swing. I look for an internal to external idea. But the difference here is, and I've said this before, is as opposed to it being, oh, let me see here. As opposed to me saying, oh, I have a daily external, right? Just to give you guys an idea, right? I have a daily external. Let me target. I have a daily external. Let me target a daily internal. That's not necessarily what I do, right? What I do is, if we have a higher time frame external, right? And this is where your time frame pairing comes in. I just look for an hourly internal because it makes my target easier, it makes my target quicker. And so in this particular case, I could have used, for example, this internal here, or I prefer to use the larger gaps, just because they feel, or just because they tend to draw price a little bit stronger. So as you can see here, we had an obvious gap here. And so as soon as we hit the daily external, I pretty much just look for a daily swing or a 4-hour swing in the direction of this internal. And I look for a 5 or a 15-minute OB. It's that simple. But pretty much whenever I use that, like on a 5-minute scale, or whenever I'm on a 15-second chart, it's that same idea, but almost just like fractalized. So you can see here that we had a 5-minute or a 15-minute internal, which means that I'm looking for a 1-minute external. I know I'm saying so much daily CCS and T. I don't really know what that means, Teamer, but thank you. So yeah. I know I'm saying so much external, internal, so much, it sounds like jibber jabber, but that is like, those are pretty much the foundations. So let me actually write this down for you guys. Or I guess I could just, I guess I'll make a graphic on it. Anyways, yeah, that is that. Do you recommend trading an eval how you trade a funded? Would you size up on the eval and not waste time on it? I would size up on the eval and not waste time on it, but that's personally just me. What I find that is that sometimes if you trade an eval really badly, um, you can kind of let that get into the habits of your funded trading. So here, for example, we have a 4-hour, whoops, we have a 4-hour internal, which means that I need to target a 15-minute external relative to the range. So that was our first, and that was our second. So 25,890. First external, second external. So again, you're just pairing the time frames here. Hmm. Excuse me. Yes. Yeah. Your aura is gleaming today. Thank you, Slayer. Do you use SMT? Yes, I do. Just on a higher time frame. I don't really use it on low time frames. If we close over that 914 high, is it still bullish? Yes, I think so. I think there's a potential here for something. I'm just kind of observing, see if we get that closure. Time is it? 2:28. Hmm. You get that closure there. Kind of observing this here on that first external 229. 914. Are we looking at the same 914? Oh, you're talking about this high here at 1422 or 222. You can get a push to the highs here. — 230. So we got about 30 minutes before 3 p.m. open. Hmm. Yeah, I meant the 915, 14. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, if we get a closure above that, I think there's a good chance we start gunning for 935s. What's ES doing? Hmm. Same thing, same boat. We did tap into that. Did we tap into that internal? Nah, you still have that 5 minute. I'll give these, kind of want to give these a go at 914. All right, is it 914? We'll just stop below the low. See if we get into the 935s. This is a nice push here. Whatever, 10 points in the go. Yeah, I want to see if we can get to 935s. I'll move to break even at 935. Hmm. Can we get a continuation here? See if I can just attach the screenshot so you guys know. So it doesn't just look like I'm being silly. Okay, so yeah, we're just in there at 914. See if we get a, if this trade, where would your, my break even would be once we get above the gap at 935. So we need to get above the 5 minute gap for me to move to break even. Need to get above this. As soon as you get above that, I think it's a bullish enough signature for us to continue into the highs. And then at that point, I think I would move to break even. But the thing is, it is kind of struggling to catch a proper bid here and go for those highs. 934. So we got about a minute here before the next 5 minute candle opens. I don't want to see this turn into a swing because if it turns into a 5 minute swing to the downside, then I'll just look to close it manually. I'm not interested in I'm not interested in being a part of a 5 minute swing to the downside. Can I get a push here during the last few seconds, or does it want to close as a swing? Again, I'm very aggressive on my decisions here just because we are near the highs. So if we do close as a swing, I'll just close manually. Nothing there. See if we can get above the 926 highs. Come on. Nice. Yeah, once we get to the 935s, I'll go break even. Right. 235. I'm just not liking how this is reacting. Just really, really struggling to get above that high. Does ES have a swing? Hmm. It did close a bit weaker than I would have liked it to on ES. Just because of that fact, I might actually move to break even a little bit earlier. That weakness on ES is actually kind of throwing me off a little bit. Don't really like it. Because you can see here that NQ is already above this high, above the 1420 high, whereas ES is not. So that weakness is what's really throwing me off here. Can we get a pop here? Okay, so there goes ES, took out that 1425 high, or 225 high, sorry. 90-minute bullish SMT in our favor. You can enter this trade. I am in this trade at 914, just letting you guys know. So we'll see. Where is my, can't even see my, there we go. Nice push. Can we get to the 935s? Towards the 935s would be nice. What is it, 926? Let's see if we can get a push here, 237. I'll move to break even here actually, just because of that weakness on ES. I'm not a particularly big fan of that. So I am break even on this move here at 914. Hopefully we get a nice continuation here into the highs. I don't really want this to come back to my entry, and if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Couple points in the profit here. If we can get to the 940s, that would also be nice. I just want to see this thing push, because then I can look to trail to the 935s. Is this a live trade? Yeah. Sorry. Here's my entry. I just if I share my other screen, like I don't have a way to just like plop up a little window to show you guys. But we're trying to figure it out so you guys can see my trade of eight as well. Because I have my trade of eight on my right screen. So I'm break even here on this trade. Yeah, just not really a huge fan of the ES weakness that I'm seeing here. Um, yeah, would love to see a continuation here, but it just really looks like it's struggling to get into those highs. If you do get a 5-minute swing, I think this actually will eventually go against me if this closes below this low. If the current candle closes below the 14 or the 230 low, I think it'll actually go against me. I manually close after 1500 profit, but I hope it hits TP. Thank you. Yeah, this thing is going to just go against me, it seems. If we if this closes as a swing, which I'm hoping it doesn't. So it does need to close above the 925 or the 926s. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Really, really struggling here to continue into the highs. It didn't close as a swing, which I do like. Nice. If we get to 940s, I'll look to trail to 935s, which is a really aggressive trail, but that's kind of what this warrants. I don't really like these highs, or I don't really want to find myself longing these highs. So yeah, once we get to, I think, 942s, 943s, I'll look to trail to the 935s if it's possible. But yeah, this is pretty much break even, so we'll just let it do whatever it wants to do. If it wants to come back to us, we'll let it come back to us. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way, we are good on this one. We got a new 15-minute candle here opening in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, this candle just now turned red, which again, I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. I would like to see a push during the last few 5 minutes to the upside, but just really, really struggling here. And then, if anything, this will be the last trade for me today. Yeah, it looks like it, boys. Looks like it. Unfortunate. No continuation, just absolutely no follow through here to the upside. And I think that is me break even. Yep. Let's see what it does. See if it just wants to see a continuation to the downside, or, but yeah, that is me break even. I like the trade overall though. Yeah, I liked it too. I was a big fan. Just really, really failed to get above this 935. So yeah, just unfortunate. We'll wait and see what the next 15-minute candle wants to do. And then if anything, we'll just move on to our backtesting session. So it looks like it's still searching for some downside here. There's that retap of the OB. New 15-minute candle in about 20 seconds. See if anything happens here on this OB retest. New 15-minute candle. Was there any news for the drop? No. Is an OB and a rejection block the same thing? I consider them the same thing. It's like people will tell you that oh, like one is the wick, like one just has a big wick and then the other one is body, which I mean I agree with, but to me it's like if you see me point out a large wick and I call it an order block, just know that I mean I consider it a rejection block. I just call it an order block because they're practically similar in nature. Okay, I kind of want to give this another go. Am I silly for it? Maybe, but I do kind of want to give this another go. Hmm. Let's see if we get that closure above. What was it, the 912s? Hmm. I don't know. Would you wait for the 1 minute inverse? No, I would wait for the closure, which we did get. I'm just not too incredibly confident, so I'm thinking about maybe reducing my risk here. 946. Yeah, I'm just thinking about reducing my risk here because I'm not overly confident on this one. And it's worth re-entry, reduce risk just in case. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at chat. So might go for a re-entry here. We'll see. I'll give it a little bit to breathe. I'm not feeling too confident on this one. We'll just kind of let it do its thing. See if it comes back down, see if it wants to uh, get back up into the 912s. Y'all ready for this? Bum, 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 bum. No, nothing yet. Yeah, it feels a little shaky, to be honest with you. It feels a little shaky. It feels like it still wants a little bit more downside. So I'm holding off for now. Oh yeah. Get a good crack. Get a good crack in my back. I think we want that H871. Yeah, we're still a little bit too high. Again, I wasn't a huge fan to begin with because we're just so high up in premium. But feels like it might want something. Again, we'll just wait a couple more minutes, see what it does. How are you guys? Slayer, how are you, brother? Doing well, bro? Doing good, brother. What's ES doing? Ooh, ES is near the low, actually. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I don't like that ES weakness. 250. Yeah, it's gonna shoot for the lows, it seems. Let's see. You do have a 5 minute swing here, though. But ES weakness just looks like it wants lower. Following my rules, use it perfect times like this. Hell yeah. That's good to hear. I think that's something that should always be celebrated. I think it's gonna hit TP. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be nice. Hmm. That was a 255, so new 5 minute candle. Yeah, I just don't see how this is worth it, to be honest. We'll see. I'm in at these 9-10s, but I'm like aggressively just watching this. If this just fails to get above the 918s, then yeah, I'll call it. And I'll just move to again break even super aggressively above 919s. I'm watching this on the 15-second chart, by the way, on my trade of eight. Just really, really struggling to get above 918. Yeah, nothing. Nothing there, boys. 2:57. We got 3 p.m. open in 3 minutes. If you get a push here during the last few minutes, that'd be nice. If we get a push here during the last few minutes during the to 918, I'll just move to break even. Again, my risk here is about 31 ticks, 7 points. If not, again, I don't mind manually closing this. It feels like I'm fighting the market, and I don't really want to fight the market right now. I'm not in the the headspace to do so. I would trail stop. Yeah, that's me. I'm closing this. Counts. Yeah, $2. Okay. Anyways, we'll move on to what's it called? To some backtesting. Yeah, some break-even trades for me. I will take it. Feels like I'm really, really fighting the market, and I don't want to do that right now. It's not worth it to me. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so I should be able to switch relatively easy here. Where is it? Share, Tradella. I should be able to pop up easy. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see my screen just fine, right? I'm still in it. Good luck, Birdie. Yeah, yeah, good luck, good luck. Again, it was more so like a sentiment from me. I don't really want to fight this market, and it feels like I was really longing those highs. I was in low risk, but still I don't want to fight that. So the model still stands. I think the OB is still good. Um, but I think I'd rather just call it there and let it do its thing. We've got 3 p.m. open anyways in about a minute. It's going now a little. Hell yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Be safe. Okay. So let's move on to this. So I should be able to. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right. Hopefully everyone can see my screen just fine. We've got a couple things here. So I'm on my backtesting software. We're on TradeZella. I think you guys can kind of see it. There we go. Journal. There we go. Let me close this up a little bit to give more space. Okay, should be good. Okay, okay, okay. Perfect. So what I'll do is we'll go through a couple of trades. I'll pop a poll in chat You guys will vote either long or short, and then we'll go from there. We're gonna take just a couple of trades here 'cause I do have a train ride to catch in a little bit. 4504. So this is ES. We're currently looking at the 4-hour chart on the right and then the 5-minute chart on the left. So I'm assuming it's moving now, actually, too. Okay, so move this here. There we go. Okay. It is currently 11 in the morning, so I'm going to move on towards the start of the New York session. Okay, here. Do we have anything that we see that we like? Anything that anyone here particularly likes or loves? 4-hour chart. This is what the 4-hour chart is telling us. There are a couple things that I would observe here. Obviously, 2 a.m. swept the 10 p.m. low, but it also swept the high and it closed between the low and the high. So I'm not a huge fan of that. That usually tells me that there's a good amount of indecision in the market. Yeah, that usually tells me that there's a good amount of indecision in the market, and I'm not a huge fan. Second, obviously chart looks kind of bullish here. This is October, I think October 19th, 2021, not a fan. So for me, this would personally be kind of like a skip. But if anyone here actually, so I'm hoping, can you guys see that? Long, short, skip. I put it in chat, so just let me know. And if you voted long, if you voted short, please give me an idea as to why. Skip. The one vote. Oh, I think we're getting a push now here on NQ. Unfortunate, boys. Right idea. Short. Who said short? Anyways, let's see how this plays out, actually. I'm actually kind of curious. So 902, I'll do 30-second intervals. Let's see if it just wants to go for the highs. Obviously, I think I'm a little bit biased just because I know that the daily chart is super bullish. And there's your 930 push above the highs. Okay, no worries. We'll move on to the next one. I said misclips. Whoops. We'll complete 2 votes. What is okay? Let's move on towards the start of the New York session for the next day. So here we have Here we have. Do we have any 4-hour swings? Yeah, we do. We have a swing to the upside here. So 2 p.m. swept, or 2 a.m. swept 10 p.m. low. So that means if I outline the candle that swept the low, it'll be this one here. And that becomes your order block. And as you can see, we kind of already retraded into it at 7:55, tapped, and then saw an impulse higher. My main issue here is that we obviously swept out the 2 a.m. high, which kind of throws me off a little bit of my bullish bias, but nothing to be too concerned about. So let's see. Let's see if we get back into the OB. What do you guys think here? Long, short? I'm still leaning towards longs, but I want to see if we can 9:30 retrace back into the order block. Really struggling to get some downside here. Schlong. And yeah, no trade for us here, unfortunately. That is okay. It is already about to be 10:30. We've already swept out. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You can see that we retraded back into the OB at 7:55 and then saw a continuation higher into that external level at 4,532. Taking a look here at actually the current NQ chart, and it looks like we're almost at the highs. So a little bit sad. I definitely wanted those longs and just did not want to take on that risk. I wasn't feeling too confident about it, so it is what it is. Okay, moving on towards the next day. Started the New York session. New York. Okay, so here we have, it's currently 9 in the morning EST. We swept out the 2 a.m. high. We also swept out this external high, which means that we're likely aiming for a 15-minute internal. The closest 15-minute internal is 4,550, which means we've already tagged into this. And then the second nearest one would be this one here, which means I would need to see some downside before I consider some longs. It is what it is. You have another day to trade. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not too insanely bugged about it. It happens. I don't usually trade PM sessions anyways. So I don't really have like a specific. Okay, so there's that 15-minute internal tagged into, seeing some downside here. And now you're getting a 15-minute swing. 1 minute external here. It's 9:28. So if we get a closure above this candle's high, I'll look to consider some longs because that would be my OB. I need to switch from AM to PM because of work. Oh, what do you do? What do you do? How do you guys who here, I mean, who here still has or do you guys still have a job? And how do you deal with it with trading? Like, does it affect your AM sessions? Does it affect your trading? And like if so, like how? My last day is this Friday. Congratulations. It affected my trading, so I'm leaving. I work second shift so I can trade. Oh, so you work like the night shift? This man works the night shift. Or what? And how many hours do you guys work like the 40-hour weeks? Or I worked 40 hours? How about you guys? Are some of you guys going to school? I do 1 day school, 32 hours in a work. Damn, you guys are grinders. Some days I am tired and I try not to trade if my concentration is not there. So, 220, 1050. Wow. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. This trade actually worked out perfectly. Almost at TP. Ah, man, how unfortunate. Yeah, I think so. Let me see. I'm checking right now. Yeah. Ride trade idea. I think it just hit TP as well. Yeah. Ride trade idea. Just no balls. Did not have the fucking balls. Okay. Move on towards the actually. Managed to get a retest here as well on this entry. Just trail above the highs. Yeah. This is why I don't always have a set target. I tend to just trail. I got stopped out there. But yeah, if uh if you find that it happens sometimes, maybe later, listen to yourself. This is better than FOMO still win for you. Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. It's okay. I'm not too upset about it. I definitely feel like it was like no balls, but that's okay. I still run into those trades all the time. The no balls trades. You just have to commit to it. But because we were just so high up in premium, I was super iffy about it. Got in my head for sure. Okay, we'll do a couple more of these. Move on towards the next New York AM session. Here we have, do we have anything interesting? We have a 4 hour swing to the downside. We have a 4 hour internal here at 4538. Not a massive fan of this day, actually. I think I might just skip it. I might just see if 9:30 gives us anything or any information, but for the most part, I'm just not a big fan of this. See if 20, let's see if 10 a.m. sweeps out the 9 a.m. low. Oh wow, this came back as a swing. That is crazy. 1 hour internal means 5 minute external, so I think we're gonna aim for the 4548 highs. See if it gets there. And there it is. So pretty simple and pretty repeatable, I think. So obviously we had an hourly internal. So if you have an hourly internal, you look for the hourly swing and then you target a 5 minute external, which means that this is the external. Can I write text? What am I doing? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see, do one more day, and then I just unfortunately have to call it. Happens sometimes. Yeah, yeah. How do you guys, who else is in school? Are you guys in school and work? And if you're in school, like, are you in uni or what are you guys studying? Is anyone in finance? Or like, how did you guys get into trading? Like QWERTY, Vince, Slayer, how did you guys get into trading? Mark Douglas. My brother. Oh, your brother trades as well. Pops used to trade options and then found futures and put me on. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Okay, team. Yeah, just not and then I learned from T-Trades and X. I don't know who that second person is. I do know T-Trades. Amazing person, fire trader. Um, yeah, team. Just a very slow PM. I'm not really feeling it today, unfortunately. I think I'll call it here. I'll call it a little bit early, but yeah, there's just not really much going on. I used to do e-commerce, but got tired of the Chinese suppliers. Hmm. But yeah, I think uh I think I'll call it here. Just a really, really slow PM session, just a break even trade. Not really feeling it. I feel really, really detached from the charts at the moment. Um, yeah, I know some other people really share the same sentiment, but this is just the truth. Like I don't know, I feel slightly detached from the charts for sure. I think with everything that happened from a macroeconomic perspective and from just like the price action that we were seeing, I was just so disconnected, full port long. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna call it here. I appreciate all of you. Um, Sorry for cutting it a bit early. I do have to travel today and tomorrow. So yeah. Anyways, I appreciate you all. I will talk to you all very soon again. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. And then I'm heading over to Canes actually thir tomorrow during the PM. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you all very much. Love you all. Please stay safe, trade smart, and goodbye.